It's time for a celebration. It's episode 500. Welcome to the Hopefulist with me, Wendy McClure. This is where we turn those nasty, negative thoughts into positive and work toward a happy, fulfilled life. Now, let's get started. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Hopefulist today. It is a big day. It's very exciting. I am celebrating the 500th episode of the Hopefulist. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's very exciting. Now, obviously, it was not that hard to do when I was doing it daily. But earlier this year, I think it was April or May, I decided to go to once a week instead of daily. And I do apologize to those who are still missing out a little bit on the daily dose of inspiration and positivity. I try to still give you that daily dose every day in social media, be it Instagram, be it Facebook, be it TikTok. So I do actually have some semi-exciting news. There are some things coming up, some things that I've been working on. One of them being a membership site. And included in that would be another daily audio that you could listen to every single day. How would you like that? That's right. Also, there will be live coaching every month. We're going to have a book club where we're going to pick a self-help / personal development book every month to dive into. We're going to have gatherings where we will discuss the book and answer certain questions throughout the book, all virtual, of course. So lots of things coming up. It's a big day, though. I'm excited. 500 episodes. Even doing it 5 days a week for the longest time, 500 is a lot. It's a lot. Now, I created and started the Hopefulist kind of on a whim. I had started writing a blog. And, the inspiration for the blog was so off, just something that came into my mind. I was driving to work one morning, and if you've been with me for 500 episodes, you know this story. I was driving to work one morning. I heard a song come on the radio. The song was A Million Dreams by Pink, and it was from the soundtrack of The Greatest Showman. This song so spoke to me. It inspired me and motivated me. Even though at the time I was doing a job that I loved, a job that I had been doing for a long time and felt that I was pretty good at, I also felt at the same time there was something else I should be doing. Now, it was around this time when I had finally started coming out of my pessimistic ways and became a little bit happier. And a little bit happier, and a little bit happier. And I thought, gosh, maybe I can write about that. Maybe I can write about my journey. Maybe I can write about how I made the transition from pessimist to hopefulist. And I haven't told this story in a while. And the reason that I came up with the name The Hopefulist is because as I was thinking, well, I'm not a pessimist anymore, but it still felt so weird and foreign and odd for me to call myself an optimist. I'm like, well, I don't think I'm a pessimist anymore, but let's not jump too far. I don't think I'm an actual optimist. I mean, come on. 40 some years of being a pessimist, you don't just overnight become an optimist. But what I did become was someone that was hopeful that I would become an optimist one day. Hence, the Hopefulist. Pretty cool, huh? I like it. I liked it enough to do 500 episodes, so and still counting. So for the 500th episode, I thought that I'd do something a little special today. And I actually just finished reading this book. But this was what I'm going to read to you is a blog that really, really took off. And then she went on to write an entire book about it. It is from Bronnie Ware, and it's The Regrets of the Dying. You know, and it's really good to hear stuff like this because it reminds us that we have time left. We have time. We can go ahead and do everything that we've been putting off. And that's one of the things that I try to get across in this podcast every single week is stop waiting for your happiness. Happiness comes from doing the things that you love. Happiness comes from looking at what you have instead of what you don't have. And a myriad of a million other things. But let's listen to this and see if there's something that we're doing that people at the end of their lives had wished they had done differently. So hopefully we can learn from them and avoid these regrets. Bronnie says, for many years I worked in palliative care. My patients were those who had gone home to die. Some incredibly special times were shared. I was with them for the last 3 to 12 weeks of their lives. I got to give her a lot of credit. I could not do a job like that. Oh, my gosh. And she loved it. She loved this work. She goes on to say, people grow up a lot when they are faced with their own mortality. I learned never to underestimate someone's capacity for growth, meaning people can change at any time. Some changes were phenomenal. Each experienced a variety of emotions as expected: denial, fear, anger, remorse, more denial, and eventually acceptance. Every single patient found their peace before they departed, though. Every single one of them. When questioned about any regrets they had or anything they would do differently, common themes surfaced again and again. And here are the most common 5. Number 1, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. This was the most common regret of all. When people realize that their life is almost over and look back clearly on it, it's easy to see how many dreams have gone unfulfilled. Most people had not even honored half of their dreams and had to die knowing that it was due to choices they had made or not made. It's very important to try and honor at least some of your dreams along the way. From the moment that you lose your health, it is too late. Health brings a freedom very few realize until they no longer have it. Number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. This came from a male patient that I had nursed. They missed their children's youth and their partner's companionship. Women also spoke of this regret. But as most were from an older generation, many of the female patients had not been breadwinners. All of the men I nursed deeply regretted spending so much of their lives on the treadmill of a work existence. By simplifying your lifestyle and making conscious choices along the way, it is possible to not need the income that you think you do. And by creating more space in your life, you become happier and more open to new opportunities, ones more suited to your new lifestyle. Yeah, I want that Mercedes-Benz. But sometimes the lifestyle it takes to have that in the driveway may not be worth it. Number 3, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Many people suppress their feelings in order to keep peace with others. As a result, they settled for a mediocre existence and never became who they were truly capable of becoming. Many developed illnesses relating to the bitterness and resentment they carried as a result. Illnesses. We cannot control the reaction of others. However, although people may initially react when you change the way you are by speaking honestly, in the end, it raises the relationship to a whole new and healthier level. Either that, or it releases the unhealthy relationship from your life. And either way, you win. I've been going through something like this with someone close to me recently, and I just decided to put my feelings out there. I said what I had in my heart, and I don't think that that's something I will ever regret. I'm not really sure of how the outcome is going to be as of now, but I said what was in my heart. Number 4, I wish I would have stayed in touch with my friends. Often they would not truly realize the full benefits of old friends until their dying weeks, and it was not always possible to track them down. Many had become so caught up in their own lives that they had let golden friendships slip by over the years. There were many deep regrets about not giving friendships the time and effort that they deserved. Everyone misses their friends when they are dying. It is common for anyone in a busy lifestyle to let friendships slip, but when you are faced with your approaching death, the physical details of life will fall away. People do want to get their financial affairs in order if possible, but it is not money or status that holds the true importance for them. They want to get things in order more for the benefit of those they love. Usually, though, they are too ill and weary to ever manage this task. It all comes down to love and relationships in the end. That is all that remains in the final weeks. Love and relationships. Number 5, I wish I had let myself be happier. This is a surprisingly common one. Many did not realize until the end that happiness is a choice. They had stayed stuck in old patterns and habits, the so-called comfort of a familiar overflowing into their emotions as well as their physical lives. Fear of change had them pretending to others and to themselves that they were content, when deep down they longed to laugh properly and have silliness in their life again. I cannot tell you how much silliness has brought joy and fun into my life. I was talking to someone recently and they had said, I'm not really into the silly. Yeah, and that was me most of my life too. You know, I was very serious, way too serious. And then when I started to get a little goofy and let a little silliness into my life, it's so much more fun. So much more fun. When you are on your deathbed, what others think of you is a long way from your mind. How wonderful to be able to let go and smile again long before you are dying. Life is a choice. It is your life. Choose consciously, choose wisely, choose honestly, and choose happiness. That's right. Choose happiness. So with that said, thank you for joining me for my 500th episode. Very exciting. I wanted to remind you about the personal positivity training that I offer. Remember one of the last lines. Choose happiness. They figured out too late that happiness was a decision. So choose happiness. I can help you if you find that you struggle with that. I did for so long. And when you want your life to change, you have to do things differently. It's really that simple. I hesitated and hesitated for so many years to do all of the things that all of these books that I read told me to do. Why? Because they felt corny. They felt silly. They made me feel like an idiot. And then one day, I picked up a book called You Are a Badass. And in this book, she said, you know what? Some of these things will make you feel corny. Some of these things will make you feel like an idiot. But you know what? Just give them a try. And if you don't like it, you decide it's not for you, just go back to your crappy life. Ding, 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 ding. Those were the words that it took for me to give it a try, to do what I had been reading about all those years. Because in essence, what I was doing was constantly reading book after book after book about how to get happier, how to improve my life. But I never did the exercises. I never took seriously what they told me to do in the book. So what I was doing was hiring a personal trainer and watching them work out. Doesn't that sound ridiculous? Yeah, because it is. That is what I did for so long. So if you still hesitate to dive in, to take the chance to look a little silly, because again, on your deathbed, you don't care. You do not care what people think of you when you're on your deathbed, especially strangers. Especially strangers. I want to help you. I want to be your personal positivity trainer. It's like a little bit of a tongue twister, right? I want to help transform your thoughts from negative to positive. I want to help you see what you have. And there's so much that you have. You just have blinders on right now. And we want to focus on that instead of what you don't have. I want to do that for you. I want you to be as happy as I am. So go to hopefulist.com, click on training, and check out the option to schedule a free discovery call with me to see if we are right for each other. Don't wait. Stop putting off your happiness. Start living your best life now. So thank you again for joining me for episode 500. Very happy to have you here. I want you to go out and have the best week ever. Be a badass. I'm here cheering you on. Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist. Now, don't you feel good? Make sure you come back next week. See you then.